Good morning to all of you. My name is Edwin Willems. Apologies for the logistical issue we had with the webinar password, but that's being fixed, and we see that the majority of people have received the link and connected to the webinar. So this morning in this 20-minute webinar, we'll talk about ClickView reporting and how you can do reporting in ClickView, either with ClickView or with NPrinting, and we'll explain why we at Agilos have chosen to complement ClickView with NPrinting capabilities. I'll talk briefly about Agilos, why we have done that. Then I'll introduce the concept of push versus pull, which is important in a reporting environment. Then I'll briefly talk about the reporting capabilities in ClickView, because ClickView, although it is a business discovery tool, it has reporting capabilities, though they are restricted. So I will talk about that and then explain why we have chosen NPrinting to complement ClickView with reporting. We'll talk about typical use cases where we see that customers are using NPrinting. First of all, at Agilos, we basically want to be the leading ClickView expert center in Belgium and Luxembourg. That does mean that we focus on expertise and knowledge transfer, but focused on ClickView and add-ons. So we want to have the best business discovery tool, of which we think it is ClickView, but also complemented with add-ons for those areas where ClickView has some gaps in functionality, such as printing, mapping, and so on. And that is basically why we at Agilos have done some research on printing capabilities and have chosen for NPrinting. So let me introduce first the concept of push versus pull. Well, in a ClickView environment, basically, as you all know, a user is doing analysis, some slice and dice, in-depth analysis, what we call business discovery. It is an analysis tool, it is not a reporting tool. And this business discovery is initiated by what we call the pull method. It is the user who takes the initiative to do analysis. He basically pulls information out of the system. He analyzes the data, tries to understand what is happening, why a certain number has gone down, and so on, and then doing his business discovery. But important to say is that he initiated the action, the analysis. So that is what is called pull. This works very well in an environment where you as a user, as an end user, want to analyze information, or an executive wants to understand why the business is going well or where the business is not going well. But in some cases, a pull is not enough. In some cases, you need push. As an example, when something exceptional happens, for instance, when your sales forecast drops below a certain level, you as a manager want to be notified, for instance, through an email. You want to be notified that your forecast drops. And of course, that can trigger an activity from you to go and analyze what really happens. But basically, you want to get a push message, an email from the system triggered by a certain event. Or another example, for instance, you want to have your salespeople each week receive a report with an update on the forecast, the sales forecast, and the sales actuals for the area they are responsible for. And you want to give them that report each Monday morning. Again, this is another example of a push method. Now, this push, you as a manager receiving an alert, or a sales manager receiving his sales forecast, of course, might initiate a pull activity on his side. So your salesperson might go into ClickView and then see why his forecast is dropped and so on. But basically, the action was initiated by the system of report being pushed. So we see mostly a pull being the ClickView environment in combination with a push which is done by the reporting. Now, in most cases, we see the need for reporting, but you might say, well, I can do reporting with ClickView. And to be honest, the answer is yes. You can do reporting in ClickView. And what you see here is basically the three ways you can do reporting in ClickView. The first one is a very simple one, is a print sheet. So it prints what you see on the screen, but it gives also the objects you don't want to see in your report, such as list boxes and so on. So print sheet is a very basic form of printing, but it's not really used by users as a really full functional printing capability. A second method to do printing in ClickView is export your data. You can export to Excel, or you can export a chart to image. So basically, have an image, a screenshot, a kind of screenshot of your chart. Again, this is very, very basic, is not very really fully functional reporting capabilities as you would expect from a reporting engine. And then the third method is using ClickView Publisher, and this is a complementary product. It doesn't come standard with ClickView. ClickView Publisher and PDF Generator, so the ClickView PDF report distribution service. So this gives you the capability to generate PDF reports and schedule reports out of ClickView. But what about personalized emails? So sending on a regular basis or triggered by an event emails with information coming out of ClickView. That is functionality not offered by the ClickView publishing environment. Or what if you want to generate HTML reports? For instance, a chart that you want to include on your intranet or want to send around in email. What about pixel perfect reporting? Also, that is something that is not possible in the ClickView publishing and PDF environment. Or if you want to, for instance, integrate ClickView data in a PowerPoint presentation or in a Word document. So these are all examples of printing requirements that are not possible with the ClickView publishing and PDF generator environment. So those are complementary products, but still are very, very limited. So we research in depth at Agilos what the printing capabilities and limitations are of ClickView and what the printing capabilities are that are offered by add-on products. So basically extensions of ClickView offered by third-party vendors. And after some thorough research, we found that NPrinting by far came out as the most advanced printing capability that complements ClickView. Now, let's have a closer look at that. We would like to characterize NPrinting by three key characteristics. First one is productivity. The second one, ease of use. And the third one, flexibility. So let's have a close look at each of those. So Koen, can you explain us, if we say NPrinting stands for productivity, what do we mean?
Well, it's actually pretty easy to explain because NPrinting uses everything what is in ClickView. You actually just make a link with your ClickView documents, and you can use not only the data which is in ClickView, but also all the charts and even the bookmarks or variables which you created in your ClickView document. So productivity, yes, of course. You only have to reuse the images, the objects which are in ClickView. So it's pretty easy to create something.
So you don't have to recreate all your graphs and charts and so on.
Indeed, that's the idea of imprinting.
So you just do it with drag and drop.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to do the formatting, so what is the ease of use? Because I have to learn a new interface to design my reports, even if I can drag and drop the objects that I already have in my ClickView environment. I need to learn a new interface for the design of my reports.
No, actually, you don't. Because I suppose you know how to work with Office, right?
Yes, I do to a certain extent.
So you know how to make reports in NPrinting. Because the interface of Office is used to create your NPrinting reports. So actually, when you like to create a Word document, you just drag and drop your charts from ClickView into a Word document. The same for Excel and PowerPoint. So it's really easy to use. You don't have to learn a new design interface.
So I just use my Microsoft Word environment just to design the report, right?
Indeed.
And I drag and drop the objects from ClickView within my Word or Excel environment.
Indeed. You
Okay.
understood it.
So now, if I want to generate a report, how does that go?
Well, actually, you have your Office document, which you created before, but you don't have to use your report in this. Your eventual report will be exported to an image, a PDF, or even HTML document. So actually, the Office document which you created is just the base. You can eventually decide in which format you like to use this document. Your reports is can be created in as well PDF, image, HTML, or any Office format.
Okay, just to summarize, I drag and drop my objects into a Word, Excel, or PowerPoint template, and then I do some design, and then I can generate the report in any format I want, like or just in a Word document or in a PowerPoint presentation, or I can generate a PDF with those nicely formatted reports, or I can do it in HTML if I want to put it on my website, or put in an email, or just in a bitmap.
Yes, that's a good summary of the whole workflow.
Okay. Can you share with us some use cases, like what are typical examples of reports, kind of reporting that customers are making in a ClickView environment, and then more specifically in this case with NPrinting? And I would also like to know what can you do in NPrinting, and can you do it in ClickView as well if you don't have a full functional reporting engine like ClickView? I would be interested in that as well.
Okay, perfect. So let's go through some cases then. Let's maybe start with the personalized reports. So what I would like to have is actually would like to send to every sales guy a report which summarize his sales of, for example, last week. So he don't see all the results of all the people. He just gets the data which he's interested, his sales results, and maybe his forecast as well. Now, in imprinting it's easy because I just define what the link is between my click view and my user. I define in which information my end user, my salesman, is interested. While with ClickView it's much more complicated. You can't easily make use of that. You have to implement much more functionalities, which will get more complex. And imprinting is just a few clicks and you get it.
So these reports I can also use, for instance, to send to partners and customers, because they don't have ClickView licenses, or not necessarily, and the emails, they are stored in my CRM system. So I can basically use email information and information about my customers and partners in my CRM system to generate ClickView reports and to send them personalized reports.
Indeed, that's the big advantage of the imprinting.
Okay, that's interesting, because that's something I couldn't do just in a ClickView environment. Okay, can you tell us something about management reporting? So the more fancy dashboard-like reporting that our board of directors wants to receive, because they, well, maybe they like the ClickView user interface, but they want to have a piece of paper on their desk.
Yeah, I think especially from management reports, it's important to have a high level overview. So not the in-depth information which you got in ClickView. So with a management report, you should get a high level overview of what happened, for example, last week. So you can get really easily at a blink of an eye, you can have already results in front of you. You can make decisions on this. And if you see something weird, you can still go to ClickView. So think again about the push and pull methods, which we saw in the beginning. But the most important about this, a management report for me has to be beautiful. It has to be pixel perfect. I don't want to see the screenshots which you use in ClickView. They're pretty, let's say, ugly. With NPrinting, you have high quality images. And that's what I would like to receive as a management.
So basically, he really creates pixel perfect charts, as I can see here in this example, rather than screenshots of what you have on the screen.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what my boss would be happy with. I think. Another example. So I want to integrate information in, for instance, a PowerPoint. If I want to give a weekly update with the performance of, for instance, sales in all the regions I'm responsible for, and I want to create a slide per region, something like that. How can I do that?
Well, actually, as I explained already before, you just are creating this in your Office interface. So with NPrinting, it's possible to work in your PowerPoint and drag and drop your charts from ClickView in NPrinting. So it's really easy to create. So from the start, when you have a fixed structure in presentation, so repeating presentation, like you say, every week or every month, you can easily create something like this. And NPrinting is creating it for you. So you define just once instead of doing it every month or every week again. Because in essence, the structure is the same, only the data does change.
Okay. So yeah, that's something I tried to do that before in ClickView, and there I have a lot of work to put all those different charts in a different slide, and here it all goes automatically because
Indeed.
it's kind of integrated into PowerPoint.
Indeed. With ClickView, it's manual work. You have to make the screenshots, import in PowerPoint, and you have to do this every time again. In NPrinting, do it once, and it creates your report, your PDF, well, your PowerPoint report.
Okay. Koen, I have a silly question for you. Do you know the device that you see on the screen?
No, actually
Well,
not.
it symbolizes presentation, but it's called a flip chart. Now, I'm a lot older than you are, so I still have used it, and you can still find it on eBay if you find it a nice device. But maybe not because today it has become useless. So
Yeah, and doesn't really fit in my interior.
okay, yeah, it's antique. You can open an antique shop with it. Okay, so a last one. So we spoke about integrating ClickView data into an email, for instance.
Yeah, and what's really nice about this example is actually your email is HTML. It's an HTML page. And with NPrinting, you can generate an HTML page. So actually, you can just create your email from NPrinting and send automatically to everyone who needs this. And not just one high-level email, but really a personalized email. So, for example, you're a salesman, you like to receive every Monday morning your forecast for your week. So you get the overview nicely in an email, and you can open it directly from your cell phone, for example, without opening again the attachment. You can just read it. It's embedded in your email. So all your charts and your tables, calculate values, everything is in. And NPrinting does a job for you. You just receive it and you read it.
So it really seems that there is an extremely tight integration between NPrinting and ClickView. It's kind of a natural extension of ClickView for reporting.
Yeah, indeed. Those two tools, they fit perfectly together. They are definitely complementary.
Okay, so to come to the conclusion, by the way, so at my last slide, I will announce something related to a workshop. But in the meantime, before I come to the conclusion, on the panel, the webinar panel, you see an area question. So if you have a question, please put your question there. It's automatically sent to us. We see it here, and within a couple of minutes when we wrap up, will see the most urgent questions, most interesting for this audience, and we'll handle them for the last 1 or 2 minutes of the webinar. So to wrap up, in conclusion, we can say that NPrinting is really the perfect complement to ClickView. While ClickView is pull, you as an end user, you do your analysis, you initiate the activity, you do business discovery, while NPrinting, leveraging the same objects, the same information in ClickView, he generates the reports which are then pushed to users like in a PDF or a PowerPoint being generated or on a web page and so on. So it's really a perfect complement sitting next to ClickView. A second point is there is a very, very tight integration. We have looked at the technology in depth. Technically, they are like one product. When you're using NPrinting, you're using ClickView. It's really tightly integrated, not only technically but also company-wise. So NPrinting is an independent company, has nothing to do with ClickView, but we see on a company level there is very tight collaboration. And to give an example, ClickView each year organizes a partner conference where they update their all their partners like Agilos about new releases and technologies and so on. So that's about 1,500 people annually. And for a couple of years now, NPrinting is the platinum sponsor of that conference. So ClickView is really embracing NPrinting as an add-on, a printing add-on to ClickView. And then the third point is basically the key characteristics of NPrinting is productivity. You reuse all the ClickView objects. Ease of use. You design in Word or PowerPoint, very easy to use. And then third, flexibility for output. So this brings me to the conclusion. We got several questions from you. We'll handle one that we saw many times from different users. Please show it to us. So, but before I hand over to Koen to give us a brief overview, or that he shows for a couple of minutes what it looks like, the interface, I want to announce already a webinar, basically a workshop, a live workshop that we are organizing in our offices in Brussels. We organize this for our customers, and all people who attended the webinar, they do get a priority because, of course, the number of places is limited. We organize this workshop at no cost for our customers. So if you are an Agilos customer, you can attend the workshop for free. But as I said, the number of places is relatively limited. We hold it Thursday, the 3rd of April. I think that's before the Easter vacation. So if you're interested, please send us an email. So we got many questions. Unfortunately, we aren't able to handle them all. But one that we got many times is show us an example. So Koen, I hand over the control to you, and please take just a couple of minutes to show it to us. Okay.
Okay, perfect.
So I'll give you control. I make you the presenter. And if everything goes well, you should all now see the screen of Koen's laptop.
Okay, so this is actually the interface of NPrinting. Now, let's maybe just take a small look at just how to edit the reports, because actually the most interesting, the most important. And as an example, I would take a PowerPoint presentation. So what I do, I have one PowerPoint in here, just going to edit it. And actually what I'm doing now, I'm opening PowerPoint. And at the side screen, you can see my objects from my ClickView documents. So in here, as you can see, it's exactly the same interface as PowerPoint. The only thing what I do in here is designing. The data and the objects, they come from ClickView, from my ClickView documents, and they I can find here at the left side. So what I do in here, first of all, I add a title which I needed, which is dynamically created. So I say, okay, it's my overview of my max quarter and year. So this is actually a formula which I define already in ClickView. And I use that value now in here in my NPrinting document. Then I have just a regular slide, which I also would have in my other presentation. And from now on, I'm actually going to add data from ClickView. So this first thing is an image, which comes from my ClickView documents. And underneath are actually calculated values. Those are also defined here at the left, where you can see formulas. So here I defined actually the calculated values, but they are based on the data which is in my ClickView document.
So this is a kind of template. So it's a PowerPoint presentation, but it is a template. You have the kind of objects that you drag and dropped in PowerPoint within this environment.
Yes, indeed.
So it's basically a PowerPoint design interface, but at the left you have some extra windows where you can see your ClickView objects.
Indeed. So that's actually the link between your ClickView documents and your design interface office.
Okay.
And afterwards you can generate this and you get a nice results. Like I can show you maybe really quickly. So afterwards when I generate this was my result. So now I have really a fill-in value and I have my real charts and numbers also.
Okay. So in here you have then this chart per region or whatever the filter is that you've chosen.
Yeah, indeed. So that's all up to me. I can choose what I would like to see.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Koen. Our time is up. We ran a couple of minutes over. One last question I would like to handle that we got also a couple of times. We can't handle all questions, unfortunately. There seems to be many, which is a good thing. But a question we got also several times is, what does it take to install NPrinting? So is it a day's work or what basically needs to be done?
Actually, it's pretty simple also. So it's just software which you install on your server and on a client. You can compare it pretty much with ClickView. It's the same kind of installation, and you really can do this in a few hours. It's pretty easy. And as you can see, also making your reports afterwards also got pretty fast there.
Okay.